Alright, in another video I was talking about how you walk the streets to uncover all these clouds. I don't have a tune right now that I can show you that in, but in order for you to be able to get all the clouds uncovered, you have to walk all the individual streets to be able to get there. Okay, so because I have teleport access, if I need to get somewhere really quick, then I can move between Donald's Dock and the Burr. Without having to walk the streets, I can quickly have access. Only way you have access to be able to do that is you have to work on teleport access. And there'll be options within the game when you're playing the game to give you that option. So if you have the option to be able to do so, or if an option comes up that asks you, do you want teleport access, I'd always make sure that you do, or some tasks are going to make you do certain things to be able to get that option. All right, so I'm over here in the Burr, and I've explained to you in another video, there are, in the Burr, this takes you back from Slate Street in the Burr to Minnie's Maryland, and then Walrus Way takes you back to Donald's Dock, and Polar Place here in the Burr takes you to the Lawbot headquarters. So every playground is going to take you to some kind of headquarters. So in the Burr, you're going to have access to the Lawbot headquarters. From Daisy's Garden, you're going to have access to the Cellbot headquarters. In Chippendale's Acorn Acres, you're going to have access to the Boss Spot headquarters. And then in Donald's Dreamland, you're going to have access to the Cashbot headquarters. The only one that does not have specifically tied to a headquarters would be, you know, Goofy Speedway, Toontown Central, and Minnie's Maryland. The rest of them, like Donald's Dreamland, the Burr, Chippendales. So you have to be within Donald's Dock to have access to Chippendales to be able to go there. So you can't go straight from Donald's Dock to the Boss Spot headquarters. You have to go through Chippendales to get to the Boss Spot. And then Daisy Garden takes you straight to the Cellbot headquarters. All right. So the first place when you are going to be defeating any kind of major cogs besides buildings will be the Cellbot headquarters. Now there are the headquarters that have the factories and where you would fight the VP. The first thing you have to do within inside of the Cellbot headquarters is you will have to get your suit. Now there's an option here for the cog disguise, and the first one that you work on is the Cellbot suit. Now if you can see that there's 10 of 10, you have to get 10 pieces of the Cellbot suit to be able to fight the VP. Once you fight the VP for the first time, you're going to get what we call merits. The merits you have to build up over time, so that means before you can fight the VP a second time, you have to get what we call merits. And so currently in my progress, I'm a level 29 Mr. Hollywood. I have not maxed my level out. We're talking about this goes on up to maxing it out to like version 2 or whatever it is. So I'm currently a level 29 Mr. Hollywood, and it goes further than this, but you usually will start off with a small level 1, I believe it is a cold caller. So you have to work your way all the way through these different suits to be able to maximize your Cellbot suit. Or your Cellbot, not your suit, but your experience. So I've already got all my suits for all 4 of these Boss Bots, Lawbots, Cashbots, and Cellbots. So currently I'm a level 29, and so that means I have to get, in order to be able to fight the VP again, I have to get 4,450 merits. That means I have to get that much more skill to be able to fight the VP again. So I'm going to be working on my Cellbot experience for a little while, and it's been like that for a while. The same thing for the Cashbot. I have to get at least 500 what they call Cogbuck progress. I am a level 8 Moneybags. So on my cash bot, I'm up here, I'm a level 8, and so eventually once I max this one out, I'll move up to a loan shark and then a robin baron, and that I have to get at least 500 more cog bucks, and that means skill points. Lawbot, right now I am ready to go fight the Chief Justice, and how I know that is because it says it's full, and I am a level 5 bottom feeder. So a bottom feeder is, where's the bottom feeder at? Right here. So I'm just in the beginning stages of working my way up here. I've been playing it off and on for years, but you know, just based off of time and work and all that kind of stuff, I just haven't really worked too much on my Lawbot. But that's where I'm currently on this. And so once I move past this one, I'll go to Bloodsucker, then a Double Talker, Ambulance Chaser, Backstabber, Spin Doctor, so forth, so on. And then in my boss bot, I am at a Flunky level 5, and I've got to do a little bit more work. I've got to get at least, 90 more stock options before I can fight the boss bot CEO. And Flunky level 5 will be the beginning of that. So once I fight the CEO one more time, then I would move up to a pencil pusher all the way up through a big cheese. So that's how the actual suits work. You have to get the suit in order to be able to fight in the big places like the BossBot headquarters, the Sellbot headquarters. Now, there's a couple of different options inside these. Some of these have, like, for example, the CashBot headquarters. You'll have the CFO, which is the Chief Financial Officer, to fight. That's where these suits come in play. But you can also go to other places like, for example, the Mint, the Bullion, and all that kind of stuff, and fight some of the bosses. Not the big boss, but some of the other little foremans, just like that. Or like, for example, in the Lawbot, you could fight the DA office. In the Sellbot headquarters, you can go in there and fight the factories. And I can show you those in another game, for example, or another video. All right, so that is for just kind of explaining to you about the cog suits. So this is where you're going to find this. You have to have your suit in order to be able to fight any of the VPs. And then once you fight the VP or the CFO or CEO or something like that, then you have to do whatever this says. You have to fight more cogs, more BossBot cogs or more Sellbot cogs or whatever to maximize this. And once you maximize this and it says full like this one, then you can go back and then you can fight the VP again. And then so as the game progresses, these points get harder and harder. I mean, they're not hard, but it takes you longer to get more skill points for those. All right. So in your little cog gallery here, when you first start fighting cogs, before you start fighting any cogs, this book is going to be blank. So let me just kind of show you right quick. I'm going to sign out of this particular toon, and I'm going to sign on to one of my other inexperienced toons and just kind of show you what the book actually looks like. So we're going to go over here to Skippy Whisker Paws, and I'm going to show you Skippy's book. Now you can see that Skippy does not have this book very well played. I was in a battle with a bigwig because I was playing with I was playing with my daughter's account, and I think I happened to be signed on with her account and happened to get a bigwig. So that's the only reason that there's a bigwig. We were in a competition or in a battle, and we were defeating bigwigs. But you can see that I've gotten, on this particular toon, I've gotten 4 out of 30 flunkies, and you're going to play more than 30 ever in this game. Like it says, 1 of 25 pencil pushers. You're going to play more than 25 ever in the game. Once you start playing the flunkies and all that kind of stuff, that's just giving you experience. But over a course of time, I cannot tell you on my main toon how many flunkies I've ever fought. It's going to be more than 30. I mean, you can see here big wigs. I've already then fought 10 for this particular toon, and in the game itself, I've fought more than that. So you don't necessarily have to have this, you know, game completely, this cog gallery, but if you need quick reference on what something is, then it's going to tell you, you know, what kind of cog it is. So if it tells you it's a short change you need, then it's going to be a cash bot. If it tells you you need a telemarketer, it's going to be a sell bot. If you need a double talker, it's going to be a law bot. And if you need a flunky, it's a boss bot. So if you are playing the game and you fight certain cogs, then when you actually play that cog for the first time, if you actually defeat it, then it's going to show up in your book. So you can do this any which way you want. If you go into any kind of battles and fight any kind of cogs, then it's going to show up here. All right, I'm not in any kind of training. This is where your tasks are going to be. This is your inventory. This is where your map is. So if someone tells you, hey, where are you at? You can say, you can open your book and you can say, I'm in Toontown Central. And then also here it's going to tell you what district you're in. So if you are in a specific district, it's going to tell you in this little area here, it's going to tell you that you're in Splat Summit. So if you click on it, you're not going to be able to teleport to it because you are already in that area. So remember, when you open up your district, it's going to tell you that you are currently in Splat Summit and you are in Toontown Central. So I cannot teleport to any of these other areas because I don't have the access to do that, because I don't have the task to be able to do so. Uh-oh, what did I click? I must have clicked go home. That's the only other option I have. Yep, nope. Wow, I did not know I could do that. So let me just see this. I don't even know where my toon was at when this happened. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of show you that, particularly that option just about the cog disguise, and then just kind of show you some things. I don't mess with these. If you've been doing any gardening, you're going to have your gardening kit here. If you have done fishing, you're going to have your fishing here. If you're doing kind of gag training, that's going to be here. Any task that you have is going to be here. So the further in the game that you go, the more you play the game, the more tasks you're going to be given. So, for example, I'm a low-level toon, and I have only one task that I'm completing currently for a medium gag pouch, and I have to go to Lucy's Tires, or go visit Lucy's Tires at Crack Up Auto Repair in Loopy Lane in Toontown Central. So in order to get back to there, I'm going to have to go back to the playground. And guess what? I'm at Donald's Docks, so I have a little ways to go. So the only way I can get back there quickly is if I was signed on to another account and I could teleport to that person and they could get me there quickly. And I do that sometimes with my daughter's account. So I have to go back to Toontown Central. So I have to go to Barnacles Boulevard. So that means in order for me to get to Toontown Central, to Loopy Lane, I have to go to Toontown Central. So guess what? When I walk this street, I'm going to walk this all the way. And when I get there, I'm going to pause the video and then I'll unpause it whenever I get there. Alright, I just made it back to the street of Toontown. Now I can go back to the playground. Now, if you notice, I have to go to Punchline Place, and I'm on Loopy Lane, so I have to go to the playground to get to Loopy Lane. Now I can go to Loopy Lane too, because I just came from Punchline Place. So that's going to be the end of this video. So I was just trying to show you some things to help you to navigate some of the options here in the book, and also to show you another video about moving around the different areas. Hope you find this helpful.